Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for standing by, and welcome to the China Ceramics First Half 2020 Earnings Conference Call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. After the speaker's presentation, there will be a question-and-answer session. To ask a question during the session, you will need to press star 1 on your telephone. Please be advised that today's conference is being recorded. If at any time during the conference you need to reach an operator, please press star 0. I would now like to welcome one of the speakers for today, Mr. David Riddick. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Dexter. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and good evening to those of you who are joining us from China. Welcome to China Ceramics First Half 2020 Earnings Conference Call. With us today are China Ceramics Chief Executive Officer, Ms. Huang, and Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Edmund Hen. Before turning the call over to Ms. Huang, I'd like to address forward-looking statements that may be discussed on the call. Forward-looking statements involve risks and uncertainties and include, among others, those regarding revenue, operating expenses, other income and expense, taxes, and future business outlook. Actual future performance, outcomes, and results may differ materially from those expressed in forward-looking statements. The company claims the safe harbor protections for such forward-looking statements as contemplated under the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Please refer to the documents filed by the company with the SEC, specifically the most recent reports in Forms 20F and 6K, which identify important risk factors that could cause actual results to differ from those contained in the forward-looking statements. We assume no obligation to update any forward-looking statements or information which speak as of their respective dates. And now, it's my pleasure to turn the call over to China Ceramics CEO, Ms. Huang, and China Ceramics CFO, Mr. Edmund Hen. We will be translating for Ms. Huang. Ms. Huang, you may proceed.
谢谢大卫，我代表公司欢迎大家参加2020财年上半年的财报电话会议。
Thank you, David. On behalf of the company, I would like to welcome everyone to our first half 2020 earnings conference call.
在2020年上半年，新冠病毒对我们的产品销量产生了较大的负面影响。由于疫情的原因，我们不得不暂时停止生产，且我们的快递物流因为一些地区的封城政策，在2020年前4个月受到了冲击。疫情导致了正常商业活动中商品需求减少，大量采购订单被取消，从而导致商品销量下降。
For the first half of 2020, the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak had a material adverse impact on the demand for our products, as our production was temporarily halted and our logistics function were not fully operational in certain regions, as these regions remained closed through April. The COVID-19 pandemic resulted in a high number of purchase order cancellations and severely reduced our sales, as our customers held back purchases, awaiting the resumption of normal economic activity.
2020年上半年，由于疫情影响，在我们的有效年度总产能为5160万平方米瓷砖的情况下，我们仅用了年产量为260万平方米瓷砖的生产设施，与过去几个季度的做法。为了保持较低的运营成本，我们根据当前市场环境降低了对现有工厂产能的利用率。
Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, for the 6 months ended June 30, 2020, we utilized production facilities capable of producing just 2.6 million square meters of ceramic tiles per year, out of an effective total annual production capacity of 51.6 million square meters of ceramic tiles. This is consistent with our practices in past quarters, as we maintain an appropriate level of plant production capacity based on the market conditions.
我们仍专注于扩宽业务范围来实现企业发展。在确保核心业务的情况下，我们成立了2个高科技的子公司，分别为成都未来富人企业管理咨询有限公司和羚羊控股成都有限公司。其中成都未来富人企业咨询有限公司主营的商业管理与咨询业务已经在2020年上半年实现了营收。羚羊控股成都有限公司主要提供金融科技服务，例如 区块链软件开发。2020年上半年，该子公司已经签署了3份合约，预计在2020年下半年实现营收。
We remain focused upon diversifying our operational capabilities to fuel our growth. While we were committed to our core business, we formed 2 new subsidiaries in the high technology sector. Chengdu Future Talented Management and Consulting Company Limited provides business management and consulting and has already contributed revenue in the first half of 2020. Antelope Holdings Chengdu Company Limited provides fintech solutions such as the development of blockchain software, and subsequent to the end of the current 6-month period, has signed 3 contracts, which we expect will contribute to revenue in the second half of 2020.
但是从长期来看，随着国内城市化进一步发展，我们相信建材行业将继续受益于房地产行业的增长。我们认为地方政府在2020年下半年会进一步采取措施，刺激房地产销售，带动此前因疫情被压抑的居民住宅购买需求，从而使建材行业获益。
In the long term, we believe that our building materials sector will continue to benefit from growth in the real estate sector due to sustained urbanization, the consolidation of larger property developers, and the upgrading of existing housing stock. For the remainder of 2020, we believe that the People's Republic of China central government will take steps to bolster economic growth and that pent-up consumer demand for residential properties resulting from the downturn that occurred during China's COVID-19 lockdown period will ultimately benefit our building materials sector.
接下来我想请财务总监信万先生来详细介绍公司上半年的营收情况，谢谢。
With that, I would like to turn over the call to the company's Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Edmund Han, who will discuss the company's first half 2020 earnings results in more detail. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Huang. I will now move on to a more detailed discussion of our financial results for the 6 months ending June 30th, 2020. Our revenue for the 6 months end June 30th, 2020 was RMB 39.8 million, or $5.6 million, a 77.6% decrease from RMB 177.4 million, or $26.2 million for the same period of 2019. The year-over-year decrease in revenue was due to the 73.4% decrease in our sales volume to 1.8 million square meters of ceramic tiles for the 6 months of 2020, compared to 6.6 million square meters of ceramic tiles for the same period of 2019, with the decrease attributable to reduced sales orders of our products due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Our average selling price decreased 15.8% to RMB 22.6, or $3.19 for the 6 months of 2020, from RMB 26.8, or $3.95 for the same period of 2019. As a result of difficult market conditions and the continuance of the 15% price reduction instituted in October 2019. Gross profit for the 6 months end June 30th, 2020 was RMB 0.9 million, or $0.1 million, as compared to gross profit of RMB 15.3 million, or $2.3 million for the same period of 2019. The gross profit margin was 2.4% as compared to 8.6% for the same period of 2019. The decrease in gross profit margin for the 6 months ending June 30th, 2020 was due to the 73.4% decrease in sales volume and 15.8% decrease in average selling price. Other income for the 6 months end June 30th, 2020 was RMB 9.8 million or $1.4 million compared to the RMB 7.1 million or $1.1 million for the comparable period of 2019. Other income primarily consists of rental income that the company received by leasing out one of its production lines from its Handley facility pursuant to an 8-year lease contract. In addition, we realized RMB 2.4 million or $0.3 million in technology consulting income from our newly incorporated subsidiary, Chengdu Future Talent Management and Consulting Company Limited, during the 6 months and June 30th, 2020. Sales and distribution expenses for the 6 months and June 30th, 2020 were RMB 5.2 million or $0.7 million, a decrease from RMB 5.7 million or $0.8 million for the comparable period of 2019. The decrease was mainly due to a decrease in payroll expenses of RMB 0.1 million, or a decrease in advertising expenses of RMB 0.2 million. Administrative expenses for the 6 months and June 30th, 2020 were RMB 14.7 million or $2.1 million, as compared to RMB 15.9 million or $2.3 million for the same period of 2019. The decrease was mainly due to a decrease in research and development expenses of RMB 6.4 million, which was partly offset by the following: an increase in administrative expenses attributable to the company's new subsidiaries of RMB 3.5 million, an increase in audit-related fees of RMB 0.2 million, an increase in consulting fees of RMB 0.8 million, an increase in legal fees of RMB 0.5 million, an increase in other miscellaneous expenses of RMB 0.2 million. Bad debt expenses for the 6 months end June 30th, 2020 was RMB 101.8 million or $14.4 million, as compared to bad debt expense of RMB 193.9 million or $20.6 million for the same period of 2019. We recognize a loss allowance for expected credit loss on our financial assets, primarily on trade receivables, which are subject to impairment under IFRS 9 financial instruments. We believe that we have undertaken appropriate measures to reserve our bad debt expense. We will continue to review each of our customers for credit quality as well as assiduously test their accounts receivable balances in each upcoming fiscal year's periods. Net loss for the 6 months end June 30th, 2020 was RMB 111.5 million or $15.8 million, as compared to a net loss of RMB 193.2 million or $28.5 million for the same period of 2019. The decrease in net loss was mainly due to the decrease in bad debt expense, which was partially offset by a decrease in gross profit for the 6 months end June 30th, 2020. Loss per basic share and fully diluted share for the 6 months end June 30th, 2020 were RMB 40.82 or $5.77, as compared to loss per basic and fully diluted share of RMB 96.69 or $14.25 for the same period of 2019. With these figures retroactively presented for the 3-to-1 reverse stock split effective on September 3rd, 2020. Turning to our balance sheet, we had a cash and bank balances of RMB 13.5 million or $1.9 million as of June 30th, 2020, compared with RMB 6.2 million or $1.2 million as of December 31st, 2019. Our inventory term was 824 days as of June 30th, 2020, as compared to 217 days as of December 31st, 2019. The increase in inventory turnover days was primarily due to the 73.4% decrease in our sales volume for 6 months and June 30th, 2020, as compared to the same period of 2019. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we believe that the value of our current inventories is realizable. Our trade receivables turnover, net of value added tax, was 422 days as of June 30th, 2020, as compared with 194 days as of December 31st, 2019. The increase in trade receivables turnover was primarily due to the slow collection of our trade receivables as a result of tight cash flow as reported by our customers due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Our trade payables turnover, net of value added tax, was 69 days as of June 30th, 2020, as compared with 30 days as of December 31st, 2019. As a result of slow collection of trade receivables from our customers, we also encountered tight cash flow due to the COVID-19 pandemic and delayed certain payment to our vendors. In terms of plant utilization and capacity, we utilized the plant's capacity capable of producing 2.6 million square meters of ceramic tiles for the 6 months end June 30th, 2020, as compared with 6 months end June 30th, 2019, when we utilized production facility capable of producing 6 million square meters. Our reduced production utilization during the current period was attributable to factors associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. Our Hangzhou facility has an annual production capacity of 22.8 million square meters of ceramic tiles as a result of 2 old furnaces having been put out of use at the facility. The company utilized production capacity at our Hangzhou facility capable of producing 1.3 million square meters of ceramic tiles for the 6 months end June 30th, 2020. Our Hangzhou facility has an annual production capacity of 28.8 million square meters, which excludes our leasing out 10 million square meters of production capacity to a third party. And we utilize the production capacity of our Hangzhou facility capable of producing 1.3 million square meters of ceramic tiles for the 6 months end June 30th, 2020. We reviewed the level of capital expenditures throughout the year and make adjustments subject to market conditions. Although business conditions are subject to change, we anticipate a modest level of capital expenditures for the remainder of 2020, other than those associated with minimal upgrades, small repairs, and maintenance of equipment. Moving on to our business outlook. As discussed, the company's operation results were severely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Our production was held for most of the month of February, and our logistic function were not fully operational in certain regions, as these regions remain closed through April. The COVID-19 pandemic resulted in a high number of purchase order cancellations, as our customers held back purchase awaiting the resumption of normal economic activity. Our sales only began to slowly ramp near the end of the 6 months period end June 30th, 2020. Looking forward, while China's real estate market has remained resilient over time, certain factors such as a slow domestic economy, a relatively high amount of mortgage debt, a drop in rental prices in certain cities, and possible government regulation to cool rising property prices post-pandemic could potentially limit new project development. There has also been some overdevelopment which has caused high housing inventory in certain third and fourth tier cities, which need to work itself through sales channels. Therefore, the current condition for the construction and building material sector continue to be challenging. In order to supplement and expand our current market reach in 2020, we announced a plan to enter the ceramic tiles market in Southeast Asia to capitalize upon the increased level of the region's new building construction, while its climate condition make it an ideal fit for many of our ceramic tiles products. Although this effort was temporarily halted due to the coronavirus pandemic, we have deployed this strategy with the goal to diversify our business by generating revenue outside of China. A key element of this diversification strategy is to bolster our R&D efforts in order to expand our markets. Last year, we developed a new type of exterior ceramic tiles designed to cool temperatures of buildings, which, once fully tested and certified as planned for this summer, will target the Southeast Asia market. However, we believe that in the long term, the real estate and construction sector will continue to grow, and that the underlying fundamentals, which include sustained urbanization, the consolidation of larger productive developers, and upgrading of existing housing stock, remain key demand-driven drivers. In addition to marketing our product domestically, we plan to continue our efforts to expand outside of China and enter the ceramic tiles market in Southeast Asia to capitalize upon its new building construction. We remain focused upon diversifying our operational capabilities to fuel our growth. While we are committed to our core business, we formed 2 new subsidiaries in the high technology sector. Chengdu Future Talent Management and Consulting Company Limited provides computer server consulting, online problem solving to maintain computer system, and internet connectivity and overall technical support. While these subsidiaries has contributed modest revenue in 2020 so far, we believe that business management and consulting represent a substantial growth sector. In addition, we formed Antelope Holding Chengdu Company Limited, which provides fintech solutions such as the development of blockchain software. Subsequent to the end of current 6 months period, this entity signed 3 contracts, which have all been publicly announced and which will contribute to revenue in the second half of 2020. This business outlook reflects the company's current and preliminary views and is based on the information currently available to us, which are subject to change and subject to risk and uncertainties, as well as risk and uncertainties identified in the company's public filings. At this point, we would like to open up the call to any question pertaining to our first half 2020 financial results. Operator, please.
Okay, as a reminder, to ask a question, you will need to press star 1 on your telephone. To withdraw your question, press the pound key. Again, that's star 1 to ask a question. Please stand by while we compile Q&A notes. Again, to ask a question, that's star 1 on your telephone keypad. Press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. There are no questions at this time. Mr. David Runick, please continue.
Thank you, Dexter. On behalf of the entire China Ceramics management team, I want to thank all of you for your interest and participation on this call. This concludes China Ceramics' first half 2020 earnings conference. Thank you very much. Thank you.